Rain is a weak, ugly loser who got kicked out of the hero's party for being useless. He finds it hard to accept that he was expelled for his lack of utility. But things take a turn when he begins to tame cute beast girls, who can grant him the power to defeat even the strongest creatures. However, before this transformation, Rain is just a lowly servant in the hero's party. Things for him were just okay until one day another boy named Oreos told Rain that he had been fired from the party. This shocking news surprised Rain. At first, he thought the guys were just messing with him. He asked for the reason, and in response, Lane said harshly that it was because he was a piece of shit and useless, and didn't know how to hold them together.
Emotional, damn it!
Immediately, other members started mocking him, and when he tried to talk, Oreos told him he shouldn't, as it would be pathetic. Rain left the party and returned the gear since he had no choice. After a while, he began thinking about what to do in the city on the horizon. While he was pondering, some children approached him and asked if he had completed the job with the hero's party. They then asked him to do the usual thing, and Rain happily accepted. Rain saw an eagle flying, and in no time, he made a temporary contract with it. He ordered the eagle to say hello to the children, which delighted them, and he decided to let the eagle go. After the eagle left, the children told Rain that they'd rather become beast tamers like him than heroes. This was because Rain always played with them, and wasn't a wannabe main character or as cocky as the other party members. This reminded him of the annoying reactions people had when he talked about the hero party. He decided to become an adventurer. After a while, he went to the Adventurers Guild and registered as an adventurer. He asked the guild receptionist, Natalie Brawl, about the adventurers system. She provided him with the necessary information and inquired about his class. Upon hearing Beast Tamer as his class, she looked anxious, knowing he would always get his ass cooked since that was the lowest rank. This reminded Rain of what Lean had said, but he reassured Natalie that he'd be okay. His registration test was to kill 10 goblins. Using a squirrel, he tracked the goblins and attacked them. After defeating them and collecting the magic stones, he heard a scream. He found a baddie from the cat tribe, said to be an endangered species, cornered by a killer tiger. He tried to attack it with his knife, but the blade broke against its tough skin. As the tiger advanced on him, the girl intervened, using her exceptional speed to attack the tiger. After the confrontation, the girl introduced herself as Kanade. As they conversed, Rain mentioned his banishment, which angered Kanade. Rain was glad someone was on his side, and he patted her head, to which she responded with joy. Kanade then asked Rain to tame her.
I mean, it's alright,
Initially uncertain, he decided to try, and it was successful. In the guild's cafeteria, Rain invited his friend Kanade to join him on a quest. Moreover, a man's interest in Kanade, a cat spirit, led to a bizarre arm wrestling contest, where Rain surprisingly emerged victorious. Guild receptionist Natalie intervened, apologizing for the man's behavior, and a strange comment about how Rain tamed Kanade left both uneasy. Curious about his newfound strength, Rain learned that his contract with Kanade amplified his abilities, making him as strong as her. Excited for their next quest, Kanade's hopes were dashed when they were assigned to gather herbs due to Rain's low ass rank. However, screams in the distance led them to an old man surrounded by the notorious bandits, the Ebon Fangs. Despite Kanade's reservations, Rain decided to show off his ripped muscles to the bandits. They ambushed the Ebon Fangs, with Rain taking on the bandits while Kanade checked on the old man. Kanade was concerned about Rain's newfound power, but was impressed by his combat skills. After the bandits were defeated, the grateful old man explained that a group of adventurers had abandoned him. Rain decided to take on the remaining Ebon Fangs, and Kanade reluctantly agreed. On their way to the bandits' hideout, Rain contracted animals to scout ahead. He revealed his plan to paralyze the bandits with the help of an Arby. Kanade was surprised by his ability to tame insects, a skill he had learned in his home village. Kanade left to fetch reinforcements, the Order of Knights, while Rain formed temporary contracts with Arbies. Meanwhile, two adventurers, Mina and Lean, lamented their misfortune compared to their former comrades, Oreos and Agath, who had aligned themselves with nobility. Back at the hideout, Rain's Orbies incapacitated the remaining Ebon Fangs members. Kanade returned with reinforcements, but the Knights of Order decided to act like a bunch of pussies and chicken out, deeming the situation beneath them. Suddenly, Berserk King Lizards attacked, and Rain and Kanade teamed up to defeat them. Their efforts allowed the other adventurers to rescue the paralyzed bandits. Rain and Kanade exited the hideout with valuable magical stones from the King Lizards. Their fellow adventurers praised their accomplishment, and Rain appreciated the recognition, especially after being dismissed from Oreos' party for being useless. Kanade was happy that they had a fluffy bed, making it comfortable for them to sleep together in the same room. Although Kanade was elated about having actual beds to sleep on, Rain saw it as insane and a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to share a room with a hot girl.
I'm gonna come. Oh.
Thanks to the innkeeper, this happened because only one room was left. Rain's narration explained how after they had turned in the bounty on the Ebony Fangs, they were recalled to the Adventurers Guild. There, Natalie informed Rain that he had been promoted from F rank to E rank, and they were given a sizable reward for their efforts. With their rewards, they purchased new equipment, celebrated by having a fancy dinner together, and finally ended up in their current predicament. Despite his virgin thoughts, Rain agreed to share the room with Kanade for the night, and the two went to sleep. But as Rain slept, she contemplated how fortunate she was to have been found by Rain. A week passed since Rain first met Kanade, and in Rain's inner monologue, he explained his enjoyment of the laid-back adventuring lifestyle he and Kanade had been living thus far. From the Adventurers Guild, they learned from Natalie that a hooligan had taken refuge at Stride Bridge and picked fights with anyone who tried to cross the bridge. Enticed by the 5 gold reward, Rain accepted the quest and immediately headed to the bridge with Kanade. Shortly after they arrived, a red dragon flew overhead, landed close to the two, transformed into a female humanoid, and proclaimed its desire to fight them. Surprised that the red dragon was really a hot woman, Rain asked if she was the noted guard dog of the bridge, which she confirmed and introduced herself as Tania, a Dragonoid. Apparently, Tania was using the bridge as a training ground for training, and Kanade explained to Rain that it was a form of pilgrimage for Dragonoids, which Tania confirmed. Tania then openly challenged the two to a match, and both Rain and Kanade agreed to the challenge. The battle started with Tania throwing a punch at Rain, which made him almost lose his role as a main character. Impressed by this feat, Tania then breathed fire at the two, setting Kanade's tail on fire. Because of this, Kanade fought against Tania, and Rain watched in amazement at how Kanade could fight against Tania on equal footing. To help Kanade, Rain tried to attack Tania, but she caught Rain as he soared in the air, grabbed Kanade, and threw them into the air while preparing to breathe fire at them again. However, they managed to dodge the attack by working together, earning Tania's praise. Noting the difficulty of facing off against Tania and how he needed to fight like a Beast Tamer, Rain asked Kanade to buy him 3 minutes to prepare. Without hesitation, Kanade agreed to help and faced off against Tania as Rain formed a temporary contract with a bird and asked it to call for reinforcements. After this, Rain took over, and with the birds he contracted, they attacked Tania, who became immobilized after they attacked her. Rain then revealed that the birds were called Pedo, and their plumage was poisonous. Tania surrendered, incapable of fighting further, and Rain asked her to come with them. Questioning what would happen if she refused, Rain answered that he didn't know but commented on what a fix he would be in if Tania didn't comply. Amused by the response, Kanade poked Tania into submission, making her agree to the demand. Afterward, Rain and Kanade reported back to Natalie at the Adventurers Guild, and before Tania could introduce herself, Rain stopped her and abruptly left the guild in a hurry. Outside, Tania drew attention to herself, and both Rain and Kanade stopped her from revealing she was a Dragonoid. On the outskirts of town, Tania was disciplined by Rain, who allowed her to leave but admonished her from starting any trouble again after this. However, Tania, who had started crushing on Rain, suggested that he tame her as well, to which he begrudgingly agreed and formed a contract with her. That night in town, Oreos complained about his team's wasted efforts in the Lost Woods they spent trying to fight against monsters. With Lean and the others complaining that Rain's old tasks were a burden on the group, Oreos decided to recruit Rain back into the group, only to dump him again after they completed it. Meanwhile, as Rain slept on the floor, Kanade and Tania argued about which bed the other slept on, as one of the beds had a view of Rain as he slept. In a narration, Rain explained about slimes, and his team was tasked with subjugating the monsters. This unsettled Kanade, due to their stickiness whenever they were defeated. Tania then boasted that she could defeat them all for her, earning Kanade's praise. Standing by, Rain noted how happy he was about how the two were getting along. Time passed, and the group couldn't locate a swarm of slimes. Hence, Rain used one of his taming abilities on a bird called Assimilate to merge his soul and control the bird to search for slimes in the area. This feat astonished both Tania and Kanade. After their outburst, Rain flew off to search for slimes as the two watched over his body. Eventually, Rain located the swarm of slimes, and before they began the job, Tania asked Rain if he could use any magical spells. Rain answered that he could use Fireball and heal. Under Tania's suggestion, he cast Fireball against the slimes, eliminating every last one. The outcome astounded Rain and Kanade, but not Tania, who explained that Rain's abilities had risen since making a contract with her. Just then, more slimes appeared, and under Tania's guidance, Rain learned to control his magic better. Afterward, Tania and Kanade talked to a little girl outside the Adventurers Guild, informing her that they successfully completed a slime subjugation quest. Rain then joined the two girls, and after a stroll through the town, they enjoyed dinner at a restaurant that night. Once they finished, Rain revealed the background of his home village and how it was lost due to a monster attack. A group of adventurers rescued Rain, and he was relocated to an inn where he worked for years until Oreo's group recruited him. He joined without hesitation, hoping to prevent the tragedy that befell his village. However, the group saw him as a burden, leading to his dismissal from the hero's party. Hearing this, Tania and Kanade expressed anger towards the hero party, but Rain assured them it was in the past. The next day, while subjugating orcs, one stabbed Rain's arm as he tried to protect Tania. Assuring them he was fine, Rain used Heal, healing the wound, and suggested they collect the magical ores the orc left behind to turn into the Adventurers Guild. That afternoon, Rain did so and learned from Kanade that Tania wanted some alone time. On a bridge, Tania pondered her decisions when the little girl from the previous day approached, offering comfort. When Rain found Tania, she apologized for her earlier actions. Relieved, Rain accepted her apology. That night, Kanade finally accepted that she wanted to get cultured with Rain, but dismissed it as mere fondness.
So that was a f***ing lie.
The following day, after a successful quest, Tania suggested they buy new equipment, which Rain agreed with. However, Oreos and his party confronted Rain's group on the road, greeting him sarcastically. Walking down a road and reflecting on his current lifestyle with Tania and Kanade, Rain and company were confronted by Oreos and his group. Oreos gave a sarcastic greeting, and Rain immediately suggested they take a different route. After Oreos made some disparaging remarks, Kanade and Tania stepped in to defend their master. Tania questioned Oreo's group's identity, suggesting doubt they were the hero party. Disliking Tania's tone, Oreos tried to rebuke her, but then recognized that she and Kanade were a Dragonoid and cat spirit, respectively. Realizing that they were Rain's tamed monsters, Rain asked what business Oreos had with him. Oreos claimed that due to the difficulty of the Lost Woods, they had to withdraw from it. Thus, Oreos offered an olive branch, inviting Rain to rejoin his group despite having called him a piece of shit and useless. Agathe, Lean, and Mina all commented that Rain should be grateful for the offer. Rain, however, refused. Lean tried to sway him, mentioning a relic in the forest called the Shield of Truth that could give them an edge against the Demon King. She added that without the relic, monsters would attack settlements, evoking painful memories for Rain. Under pressure, Rain reluctantly agreed. Chastising him for his initial refusal, Oreo's group began to depart. But both Kanade and Tania halted the hero party, demanding they apologize to Rain. The suggestion took the hero party aback. When Tania threatened them, Oreos grabbed Rain, insisting he control his pets. Oreos not only called them pets but insinuated they were Rain's bitches, which angered Rain enough to punch Oreos. Following this, Oreos challenged Rain and his allies to a duel to determine the stronger party, and Rain accepted. In separate locations, Kanade faced off against Agathe, Tania against Mina and Lean, and Rain against Oreos. Kanade's fight began first. Agathe expressed excitement at facing such a supreme species as hers, while Kanade vowed to defeat him and make him kiss Rain's sausage. However, Agathe showed no inclination to do so. Kanade initiated the combat with a swift, powerful kick and a series of punches. Agathe defended with his broadsword, but soon found himself on the defensive. Noting Agathe's passivity despite being part of the hero party, Kanade's observation provoked him into unleashing his special move, Hellfire and Brimstone Slash. Kanade, however, deftly parried his attack. In his growing frustration, Agathe declared he'd use his full might, to which Kanade coolly replied she used just half of hers. Realizing she had been holding back stunned Agathe, and the duel concluded with a decisive kick from Kanade. In another location, Tania squared off against Lean and Mina. She disdainfully stated she'd rather face Oreos since she deemed them weak. This assertion irked the two mages, prompting them to cast Gravity Burst and Holy Flare. Yet with a mere hand gesture, Tania negated their spells. Undeterred, Lean and Mina launched Judgment Arrow and Red Crimson, respectively. Tania effortlessly countered using Materia Canceller. Despite their continual onslaught, Tania kept dispelling her spells. To end the skirmish, Tania invoked the formidable spell, Ultimate End. But it was merely a ruse, causing both mages to faint from the shock. Concurrently, Rain and Oreos engaged in a duel. Oreos initially gained the upper hand with his rapid swordplay. Still, Rain sustained only minor injuries and felt that Oreos' intensity paled compared to Tania's. Switching to the offensive, Rain delivered a solid punch to Oreos' abdomen. Reeling from the blow, Oreos heard Rain reveal his newfound strength, courtesy of his contracts with Kanade and Tania. Leveraging insights from his observations and with the aid of an Arby, Rain overcame Oreos. Soon after, both Tania and Kanade hurried to Rain's side, wrapping him in a warm embrace. Rain and his party arrived in the dark and dreary Lost Woods, where the Shield of Truth was said to be located. A flashback revealed that after Oreo's group was defeated by Rain's, they apologized for their misbehavior. Tania also intimidated them into making their apology sound more sincere, and Rain accepted their apology. With that out of the way, Oreos explained the Shield of Truth's current situation. It was in a monster's possession in the Lost Woods. Despite Kanade's and Tania's rebukes about Oreo's tone of voice, which sounded as if he was still acting pompously, Rain agreed to accept the task. In the present, Rain assured his two companions of the importance of finding the Shield of Truth for Oreo's group. To start their search, Rain assimilated with a bird through a temporary contract to scope out the area, leaving Kanade and Tania in charge of looking after his body. Immediately, Rain located a pathway leading to their goal. However, when they followed it, they got lost despite taking the correct path. Tania cast Material Search to investigate the surrounding area and led them to a tree emitting illusionary magic. Tania then asked Kanade to knock it down. Before Kanade could, a disembodied voice demanded they leave that place. From the tree, a fairy appeared before them. Although Rain tried to introduce himself and reveal his group's goal, the fairy refused to listen and warned them she'd expel them from the forest if they didn't leave. Heeding this warning, Rain, Kanade, and Tania retreated into the woods to discuss their encounter with the fairy. Kanade recalled that a monster inhabited the tree, and Tania suggested they break down the tree to remove its illusionary barrier. However, Rain insisted he visit and talk with the fairy alone. Approaching the fairy again, Rain tried to start a conversation with her. She threatened to hurt him if he didn't leave. On the other hand, Rain accepted the threat, confident in his way of rizzing up girls to win negotiations. As he said, Rain took and was hurt by the fairy's illusion arrows, perplexing her as Rain's actions contradicted how she understood humans to act. Rain admitted he was human and that not all were the same. The fairy sent off a second barrage of illusion arrows, but Kanade and Tania protected Rain. Both of them then tried to reason with the fairy but got into an argument midway about how Kanade initially approached her. Intrigued by the group, the fairy dropped her hostility towards them. Asking for Rain's name, he revealed it to the fairy, who in turn introduced herself as Sora and agreed to listen to their plea. From their conversation with Sora, they learned that the barrier blocked the entryway to the fairy village and that her people protected the Shield of Truth. Realizing the Shield of Truth was needed to defeat the Demon King, Sora fetched it and gave it to Rain. Despite Rain's offer to help her with anything, Sora flatly rejected it, noting she was merely following the ancient pact between the fairies and the previous hero. Once that was done, Kanade and Tania tried to leave, but Rain returned to Sora and asked what was bothering her. Hesitant to answer, Sora was coaxed by Rain, Kanade, and Tania to talk about her twin sister Runa and their responsibility to protect and maintain the barriers leading to the fairy village. Everything was fine between the two until they exited the barrier for personal reasons and encountered a monster affiliated with the Demon King's army. Rain detailed that the monster Sora and her sister Runa encountered was called a Shadow Knight. Although weaker than an ultimate species like them, it had tricky characteristics, like magical nullification, making only physical attacks effective against it. Sora confirmed it and continued her story where the Shadow Knight demanded that she lower the barrier, but in fear she fled and was told by the leader to abandon Runa. Moved by Sora's plea, Rain vowed to help and rescue Runa from the Shadow Knight, leading Sora to embrace Rain tearfully. A flashback revealed that Sora detailed the conditions of her release given by the Shadow Knight. She had to lower the barrier over the fairy village by sundown. Armed with this knowledge, Rain's group set out for the Shadow Knight's lair, but didn't let Sora come with them, fearing it would jeopardize her deal with the monster. Upon their arrival, they saw the Shadow Knight seated on a throne next to Runa. Without hesitation, Rain threw a fireball as a distraction, allowing both Kanade and himself to land hits on the Shadow Knight. The creature quickly deduced that Sora had sent Rain's group and lashed out at Runa. Tania intervened, freeing and then whisking Runa away to safety. To divert the Shadow Knight's attention, Rain formed a temporary alliance with some Orbeez. Then, after casting a boost spell on Kanade, she used her enhanced strength to subdue the Shadow Knight. When the dust settled, Tania rejoined them with Runa in her arms, expressing her amazement at Rain's mastery of a long-forgotten powerful spell. Rain simply replied that everyone in his village knew it. As Runa came to, she was informed by Rain that it was Sora who had sent for her rescue, a fact which comforted the fairy greatly. The reunion was touching, with Runa and Sora expressing their gratitude to Rain and his companions. A brief, humorous exchange ensued about Runa's cheeky opinion of Rain, and Sora's chastising of her sibling led Rain to conclude that the two were nothing alike. Though Kanade wished for the fairy sisters to return home, Sora mentioned that Runa was no longer welcome there. Sensing their uncertainty about the world beyond, Kanade extended an invitation for them to join their group. Rain agreed, and a pact was formed. Later that day, Rain met with the heroes' party to deliver the Shield of Truth. Oreos, however, was incredulous. While it had taken his team 2 weeks to find the shield, Rain's group had achieved it in just 2 days. Doubting the shield's authenticity, Lean was called upon to verify its legitimacy, confirming its genuineness to the astonishment of her peers. Oreos' skepticism didn't go unnoticed by Rain, who promptly claimed his 20 gold coin reward. As Rain turned to leave, Agath posed a question. Would he consider rejoining their party? Despite Oreos' evident irritation, Agath, Mina, and Lean all saw the value Rain brought. However, Rain declined, content with his new life. Afterward, Agath, Mina, and Lean lamented Rain's refusal. In contrast, Oreos, nursing a grudge from a prior defeat at Rain's hands, vowed revenge. Elsewhere, under a tree, Rain shared with his group the tale of the first hero who defeated the Demon King. Legend had it that only someone with divine blood could be the hero, possessing an unmatched power known as Limit Break, essential for vanquishing the Demon King. Given Oreos' mediocre abilities in comparison to Rain's, Sora mused that perhaps Rain was the real hero, a sentiment underscored by his numerous achievements. Kanade proposed that Rain could harness even more power by taming additional spirits, an idea Tania supported. However, Rain hesitated, acknowledging the weight of such responsibility and crediting his team for their collective successes. He didn't dismiss the concept outright, but felt it was too soon to make such a commitment. On a sunny morning, Rain woke up in his room, hoping for a room free from all the harem, while his party occupied the beds. Later, over breakfast, they all discussed buying equipment for Rain's upcoming journeys. As they walked through town, Runa and Sora worried about people discovering they were fairies, but Rain assured them after observing others' interactions. So they then went to a weapons store. At the weapons store, they met the gruff owner, Gantz, who initially showed them poor quality weapons. After some confrontation, Gantz revealed his best weapons. Rain explained how he discerned quality due to his Beast Tamer experience, impressing Gantz, who agreed to craft a custom weapon worth being carried by the top G once they found materials. Meanwhile, at the Adventurers Guild, they learned Oreos was recruiting support numbers. Rain submitted the quest from Gantz for mithril ore, which led them to a depleted mine. Later on their way, Runa and Sora got tired quickly due to their low stamina, prompting Rain to let them service the fans and bathe in a lake, and enlist squirrels as guards. During a rest, Kanade got bitten by a fish, causing a minor commotion but no harm. So they then reached the mine, and Rain suspected thieves. 2 thieves emerged, leading to a confrontation. Instead of fighting, Sora and Runa used magic to learn the thieves' motives, confirming Rain's theory. They also suspected one of the adventurers inside was a Beast Tamer. Inside the mithril mines, thieves found out their friends had lost to Rain's group's Beast Tamer. Consequently, the Beast Tamer wanted revenge. Therefore, Rain's group was attacked by 4 adventurers but easily defeated them. However, only the Beast Tamer remained. Consequently, Rain fought him and his strong behemoth monster. This intense fight caused the mine to shake and crumble. Rain's friends took the captured thieves outside for safety. Nevertheless, Kanade went back to help Rain. However, the Beast Tamer refused to give up, so Rain took control of the behemoth and defeated it with a fireball spell. Outside the mine, they learned the thieves were angry at Gantz for selling them bad weapons. As a result, Gantz felt sorry for his actions and agreed with Rain. He promised to be a better craftsman. Therefore, Rain asked for a new dagger and gauntlet. Meanwhile, Oreos and Mina interviewed a Beast Tamer job applicant. However, Oreos rejected him because he wasn't as skilled as Rain. This decision left Mina worried that it might delay their mission to defeat the Demon King. Consequently, she asked Oreos to change the job criteria, but he hesitated. Unbeknownst to Mina, Oreos had a cursed ring and planned to use it against Rain. The next day, when Rain visited the Adventurers Guild, he learned about the thieves' fate from Madeley. This news made him sad. Fortunately, Runa and Sora comforted him, and they decided to go for a walk and eat hot dogs together. After eating, Runa and Sora asked if Rain got special abilities from their contract. He wasn't sure, which made them sad initially. However, Rain reassured them that he valued their company more than powers. They asked why he treated them well, and he explained it was because his old party didn't trust him. Thus, he wanted to build trust with them, which made them happy with his answer. As they enjoyed their time together, Runa wanted more hot dogs but was stopped by a proud man and guards who wanted to take Runa and Sora. Runa and Sora rejected him, but the pompous noble only declared his love and desire for them even more. Rain stepped in and demanded the pompous noble's name, who introduced himself as the Lord of Horizon's son, Edgar Fromware. Despite the fairy twins rejecting Edgar's demand, Edgar surrounded the group with his soldiers and asked again if they would agree to his offer, which Rain again rejected on their behalf. Hence, Edgar ordered his soldiers to attack him, but Rain just showed off that he was him and defeated them. Backed into a corner, Edgar ordered the remainder of his soldiers to hold the surrounding people as hostages. Disgusted by how Edgar viewed his subjects, Rain awakened his fairy magic capabilities and rescued the hostages using a multicast fireball spell on the soldiers. This forced Edgar to flee the scene in shame and made Rain's group be met with praise. However, one lady in the crowd warned them that they should leave Horizon for their safety as a cloaked individual watched them from afar. Later at the inn, Runa and Sora relayed what had happened earlier to Kanade and Tania. It was speculated that Rain's magical control had dramatically improved by forming a contract with the twins. Their conversation then changed to Edgar's shady background involving him doing acts that would have landed him on the FBI's most wanted list.
FBI, open up!
Edgar apparently got away with his dirty deeds thanks to his father's influence as Horizon's Lord. While the Knights had investigated the accusations against Edgar, they had sadly found no evidence of any crimes committed. After deliberating over what to do, it was ultimately decided that Rain and his party would defeat Edgar and save the city. That night, at the Fromware Manor, Edgar talked with his father, and after he excused himself, Edgar paid his knight Gellet to take care of Rain. Once he was gone, Edgar summoned a slave servant of his and proceeded to beat her for not meeting his outlandish expectations. The following day, Rain and Kanade visited the Order of Knights HQ to file a formal complaint against Edgar. However, the complaint was formally rejected, as it had already been reported as a minor scuffle, and would not be investigated further. Rain later opined that the Knights were conspiring with Edgar. The vice-captain knight named Stella, who requested their help to bring down Edgar, then approached them. Trusting in Kanade's judgment about her opinion of Stella, Rain agreed to help her while also cleaning out the corruption within the Knights of Order. To catch the corrupt Knights in a trap, Stella enlisted help from some trusted Knights in her division, and Rain got his new gauntlet from Gantz. By nightfall, a trap was laid at a warehouse rumored to have incriminating evidence against Edgar, and thus the corrupt Knights of Order were sent to investigate. Once they entered the warehouse, the entrance was sealed off and the Knights, aside from Gellet, were knocked out. Facing off against her superior, Stella tearfully defeated Gellet in one-on-one combat. Meanwhile, at Fromware Manor, Edgar received news of Gellet's arrest and took out his frustration on his slave servant. The cloaked individual then visited him, who was revealed to be Oreos Incognito. Oreos explained that Rain was a Beast Tamer who managed to tame multiple ultimate species to Edgar. He then gave him a cursed ring, under the pretense that it was a magical item that brought death to its target. Nina had a flashback which revealed her past life at a small temple until she was enslaved. On the other hand, a couple of soldiers in front of Edgar's mansion warned Stella and her knights not to trespass any further. However, Stella announced her name and title while proclaiming they were there to conduct an inspection. Furthermore, she mentioned that Gillett had been arrested under corruption charges. Since the soldiers refused to comply with Stella's orders, Tania and Kanade intervened, causing the two soldiers to alert their comrades that they were under attack. Surrounded by numerous soldiers, Tania and Kanade broke through the main gate as Edgar watched from his room, anticipating his newly acquired ring would help him defeat Rain. Meanwhile, Rain, Runa, and Sora managed to infiltrate the mansion's basement in hopes of rescuing the hostages there. Runa cast Material Search, planning to teleport any hostages they located out of the mansion magically. Once Runa detected a large magical signature below them, believed to be the hostages, and one of the other signatures was said to be on par with Sora and her. Rain suspected that another ultimate species was held captive there and decided to have the fairies rescue the hostages while he rescued the ultimate species. Walking through the mansion alone, Rain located the ultimate species, which turned out to be another baddie called Nina, a demigod who would soon be one of Rain's girls. Startled by Rain's majestic presence, Nina acted apprehensively toward him as he broke into her cell and cast a healing spell on her. Thankful for what Rain did, Nina gave her name and then embraced him. Another brief flashback was shown, revealing how Nina became conscripted by Edgar. Back in the present, Nina informed Rain of her situation, and he decided to emancipate her. Rain's plan, however, backfired at first since, although the Slade Collar's magic was fundamentally similar to a Beast Tamer's magic, it was still difficult for him to break. By utilizing the power granted by his tamed friends, Rain managed to break the Slade Collar's spell, which freed Nina. Outside, Stella, her knights, Kanade, and Tania all continued dealing with the soldiers surrounding the area and were soon joined by Runa and Sora. The fairies informed the others that they had rescued the hostages, who were now at a safe location. Hearing this invigorated both Kanade and Tania, who continued their onslaught against the soldiers. In his room, Edgar reassured his father that he would handle the situation alone. In the mansion's foyer, Rain, carrying Nina on his back, regrouped with Stella's group, who claimed Rain had raised up another girl, much to his chagrin. Edgar's father entered the foyer and was ordered by Stella to surrender himself. He, however, refused and was sequentially captured by Rain's gauntlet wire. Immediately, Edgar appeared, and, using the ring that Oreos gave him, summoned a reaper that stabbed him in the chest with its scythe. Standing atop the mansion's roof, Oreos gloated about Rain's supposed death and claimed he would now be able to rest easy. After Oreos disappeared into the night, Rain was revealed unharmed by the Reaper's attack. Sora mentioned that Rain was just hit with an instant death spell, yet it did not affect him. Hence, Runa cast a poison affliction spell on Rain, which didn't work, and it corroborated her hypothesis that Rain was immune to status effect magic. Watching from the second-floor banister, the despondent Edgar watched the conversation between Rain and his party, while internally lamenting how an entitled noble such as him had failed. Refusing to accept the outcome, some dark ominous energy escaped from Edgar's ring that engulfed him and transformed the noble into a demon. The demon left Edgar's mansion and targeted the townsfolk below, prompting Rain and his party to pursue it. However, Rain made the decision to have Stella and Nina avoid confronting the demon in favor of assisting the townsfolk. While rampaging through the town, the demon was eventually stopped by Kanade, leading to a confrontation with Rain's group. Their initial efforts against the demon proved futile, and in an attempt to even the odds, the demon summoned reinforcements in the form of monsters. Despite their efforts to defend themselves against the monsters, the demon cast a spell that destroyed parts of the town, setting it on fire. In retaliation, Runa and Sora pinned the demon in place with a light magic spell as Rain boosted Kanade and Tania's powers. The two then launched a barrage of punches against the demon, followed by a light spell that flung the demon into the sky. Kanade then launched the demon to the ground with a gut punch. However, all they managed to do was blow off its left arm, and it then proceeded to summon more monsters, preparing to destroy Horizon. Hence, Runa and Sora volunteered to use their magic to teleport the townsfolk to a safe location. Meanwhile, Mina informed Oreos about the rampaging demon in Horizon. However, he refused to take any action against it, as their main priority was the Demon Lord. Lena concurred with Oreos against Agath and Mina's concern about the demon situation, but ultimately conceded to Oreos' logic. Unbeknownst to the group, Oreos was the one responsible for the demon's appearance in hopes of getting revenge against Rain. Back in Horizon, Stella, accompanied by her knights and Nina, defeated the demon's summoned creatures. Sora and Runa who requested their assistance with evacuating the townsfolk using teleportation magic, soon joined them. Privy to the fairies' plans, Stella and her knights left to round up any townsfolk they could find, as Nina stayed behind with Runa and Sora. Eventually, Stella and her knights gathered some townsfolk who initially hesitated to use the fairies' teleportation magic. However, a few familiar faces among the fairies convinced them to trust in the fairies enough. Before the second wave of people could be teleported, a pack of monsters arrived. Returning to Rain's group, Kanade and Tania became exhausted by fighting against the monsters, but soon received help from the town's adventurers. As that went on, Runa dealt with the newly arrived reinforcements, and Sora teleported the remaining townsfolk to safety. Feeling inadequate, Nina joined Rain's group in hopes of helping them. Both Kanade and Tania realized that Nina could use her demigod powers to teleport Rain close enough to the demon so he could confront it. Carrying Nina on his back, Rain used Nina's teleportation magic to confront the demon, and after casting Boost on himself, he magically restrained the demon. In doing this, Rain became afflicted by the demon's influence but managed to overcome this and override the control over the demon's monsters. Enraged, the demon broke free from his restraints and tried to attack Rain but was overwhelmed and defeated by its turncoat monsters. Once the demon was defeated, Nina became too exhausted to maintain the two in the air, causing them to fall to the ground. Before they crash-landed, they were caught by Tania. Like everyone was expecting, Rain welcomed Nina, and they made a contract for her to be one of his bitches. Together with his adventuring party, including the newly welcomed Nina, they stayed at an inn and received news that the knights had formed an alliance with the Adventurers Guild. On the other hand, Natalie, a guild member, informed Rain that they had been promoted to C-rank adventurers due to their recent accomplishments. Natalie introduced Nina to the group with affectionate warmth. The story took an unexpected twist when Rain and his party decided to address their housing situation. Natalie suggested they consider buying a house, and they embarked on a house hunting adventure. While most houses met their preferences, the final one was different. Natalie revealed that it was haunted and shared unsettling incidents that had deterred potential buyers. Rain decided to investigate before making a decision. Inside the haunted house, the group encountered a maid ghost named Tania. Initially, they tried to cast spells, but Tania's inability to harm them led them to use Kanade's fear to their advantage. After a chase, they trapped Tina and learned about her backstory. Rain, using his Beast Tamer abilities, brought Tina to a peaceful resolution, ultimately deciding to purchase the haunted house. Meanwhile, the hero's party faced disdain from the townsfolk, leading Oreos to act out in frustration. Rain, on the other hand, returned home with Kanade and enjoyed a feast, reflecting on his gratitude for his party members and his anticipation of the future. Will Rain finally be seen by everyone as the most powerful, or will he continue to be treated like a common person? If you've reached this far, comment "Ard I Rain" to confuse